I think let me open up. Can anyone tell me the last lecture what we did? I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to. We did NPM, did we? Can anyone just speak on the mic and say that what we did in the last lecture? Yes. Okay. Node and NPM we did absolutely. Okay. So let me see. Too many. Okay, there it is. IMAX school. Nope, nope. Too many lectures I'm doing, and sometimes I just get so confused with where I am. Let's see. Okay, let's see if somebody can say that Node and NPM we did. We did Node. We did this, right? Let me open a VS Code. Must be I'll get a more better idea. So VS Code. Okay. Okay. So we have done Node and we have done NPM. Let me run this as administrator. Let me check from the file recent projects. Where our file open recent, and I think, yep, finishing school. That's where it is all. Okay, this is where we are. So lecture 1, this is lecture 2. We did hello package, very nice. So let's do lecture 3. Now what we'll do in lecture 3 is we will do TypeScript, right? So must be now what I'll do, I'll start putting some name to this, right? So TypeScript, right? So I'm going to go and open up. So before we start anything, let us do TypeScript. Now, remember, we did JavaScript, some days back, if you remember. And in JavaScript, we were writing functions. We were writing immediately invoked function expression. We were talking about so many other things out there. The problem with JavaScript is that if somebody wants to be productive, if somebody says, let's say there is a big application out there, and someone says that, okay, I want to go and create an application which is accounting system, inventory system, right? Then what happens is you cannot write functions. It is so difficult. Function, you have to worry about global polluting, you have to worry about so many other things, right? Most of the developers who are there available, they know object oriented programming. So they understand classes, they understand objects, they understand polymorphism, they understand inheritance. What you can do is, like, you can just go and close your camera, right, if needed. You can flash your camera. If you want to speak something, please go ahead. Please be serious in the lectures. Don't, when you're attending this lecture, right, it's only like 1 hour in a week, not more than that, right? So don't take anything else at the time. Don't watch any TV, don't be in a call with anyone if you're really serious to get into this, right? So guys, what I'm saying is that, most of the time, we have developers who know object oriented programming. If you give them classes, if you give them objects, if you give them polymorphism, they can do wonderful project. But if you tell them, okay, let's write a function, and this function will create another function. Functional programming has been left long time back, like till 90s people were doing it, I will say 80s. And as soon as with the C++ coming in, with Java coming in, I think, those functional programming thing have subsidized a lot, right? Now when it comes to JavaScript is completely function oriented. Functions, right? And second, JavaScript is loosely coupled, loosely typed. Means, for example, in JavaScript, if you remember, I said, if I say function1.js, it does not validate any data type. For example, I can do like this, where x is equal to 0, and then I do x plus plus, and then I do a mistake of doing like x is equal to shiv, and then if I do again x plus plus, right, here my program will crash. My program will not work ahead, right? Why? Because this was an integer, this then became a string, and then you try to do an increment operation on the string, and the program crashed, right? So what I mean to say is that JavaScript, he does not give any kind of alerts, right? And that's where we have something called as TypeScript. So the other thing what we have to know, to learn Angular is, one I said we have to know Node and NPM, right? Another one is TypeScript. Now, if you look at TypeScript and if you look at this website TypeScript, so very quickly, just want to add here so that we both are on the same page. We all are on the same page. For Angular, first is what we need. We need to know Node. We need to know NPM. And then added to that, we need to know TypeScript. And then you are all set to learn Angular. So you can think about that this lecture and the previous all lectures are prerequisite to even start Angular and MVC code. These are all prerequisite, right? So you can see it says here, hello, yes. Yeah, go ahead if you want, if someone wants to speak there. I'm not sure. Okay. So guys, let me complete this topic and then you can take up the question. I'm again repeating that please don't, when you're watching these lectures, don't take any other thing in your head. Don't confuse yourself by looking here and there, it would not add value. So TypeScript and JavaScript. So here you can see TypeScript is nothing but it helps to JavaScript to scale. Scale means what? Where you were creating one function, two function. Now you can create hundreds of function. You can write your code very easily, right? So first thing what TypeScript does it extends JavaScript by adding types. Means what? So here it is. First thing, to install TypeScript, you have to go and say npm install TypeScript. So you have to say npm install. Let's look at the code. Where is the, yeah, npm install TypeScript, right? So that will get installed npm TypeScript, right? And then you can go and you can write here, for example, customer.ts file. You can see I'm creating a customer class here, must be. And I can say here, so first thing, if you see on the website, it says very clearly that TypeScript is it extends JavaScript by adding types. Types means what? You can, for the first thing is all TypeScript syntaxes need .ts. I'll go and delete this JavaScript from here, not needed. So all TypeScript file need a .ts extension, right? So first thing is, if you see here var x, you can define now a data type. And now you won't be able to do this. You define a number data type. You can't say x is equal to Shiv here. If you try to do this, it will give an exception. It will give a compile time exception. Compile time exception means before even running a program, while typing itself, it is telling that, hey, like this is error, right? So first thing is, you can see here, this is adding types, strongly typed. Second, and if you are able to check during compile time, that means that you can catch the errors and provide fixes before you run the code. So before even I go and run this JavaScript code out here, right, I don't have any problem, right? Because it has been type checked, it has been syntax checked and everything, right? So first thing, this TypeScript add types. Second, what TypeScript also does is you can go and you can write all those classes and objects. Remember I said object-oriented programming. As a developer, we understand inheritance, we understand polymorphism. So you can go and say here class customer, and let us say this customer has a name. So we'll say name and string. Now remember that in TypeScript, now if you see normally in Java or C#, you say int I, first you say data type and then the variable name. But here what you say, variable name and then the data type, right? So name and string, I can say age of the customer and a number, right? So you can see now I can create a class, right? And if I go and if I compile this, to compile this code, I have to say tsc customer.ts. Remember the syntax of compiling, I'm just highlighting out here, tsc customer.cs, right? That's how you do it. Now, if I go and press enter, you will find that it will go and it will compile a JS file. Now, this is very wonderful, right? At the end of the day, I'm sorry, in the browser, what runs is JavaScript, right? At the end of the day, inside the browser, what runs is pure JavaScript. So you can see here, this is TypeScript, but it has been converted. It has been compiled into JavaScript like functions, IFI and all this, right? So the goal of TypeScript is two things. The first thing is TypeScript makes your JavaScript strongly typed. And second, it adds object-oriented programming capabilities like classes and instances and so on, right? So guys, any question on what is TypeScript, at least the basic part of it? Raju, please see which students are attending. Like it is very important for us that who are the students who are attending, and we just focus on them. For example, I know that we have some of the students here, who are Krishna is there who is writing articles. I know that Prem is there who's writing articles. So there are 4 or 5 people, who I know are writing articles. And as I've told that finishing school or IMARC finishing school, we would like to focus only on those students who are serious. And if you remember, I said, when the lectures will start, you will have 100 people. When the lecture will end, you will have 4 people only, right? So I would suggest everyone who are out there, right? If you're not catching up, then there is no other train to catch up after 2 months. Believe me, it would be very difficult to teach you TypeScript and then Node and then NPM and then MVC core, or like forget it. So I would suggest be over there. Yeah. Can we say TypeScript as a super class of JavaScript? Very good, Krishna. I really like what Krishna, the way you are thinking. I'm going to definitely, when I come to Dhangadi and when I come to Pokhara, there are 3 or 4 students in my mind. I'll be definitely be meeting you and I'll be mentoring you personally. That's definitely there, right? So thank you for that. It's a very good question. Actually, if you look at, so yes, actually, if you look at the older definition of TypeScript, now they have removed from this website. I really like the older definition of TypeScript, where they used to say that TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. Now that definition is removed. So superset of JavaScript. This was the definition. Okay, it's there in Wikipedia. Uh, but I definitely remember that the TypeScript team used to say, we are a strict superset. Strict means, they are strict. Superset. Now, what do you mean by superset? Superset in maths means the following, superset means that if you have an A which has 2, 3, then B becomes a superset of A if B has everything of the A, right? So we say that, okay, B also has 2, 3, and he has something extra. So what is that extra? Extra can be 10, can be 12. So then we say that B is a superset of this A, right? So in the same way here, when you say JavaScript, so what does JavaScript have? JavaScript have, you can define, it is flexible, it is functional, it is available everywhere, and so on, right? So what TypeScript says, okay, I'll take everything of yours. Let's be flexible, let's be functional, but also let's be strongly typed. So it adds things to it. Superset. Rather than saying super class, must be, you can say superset. Strongly typed. We will have object-oriented programming. So you can see TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. It adds more to JavaScript. It makes you productive. That's the most important part. In today's day, everybody wants to create their project in a day or two. Like in an hour, they want to create their screens. They want to go live. They want to please their customer, right? So nobody's going to go and write all this, right? Think about it. A person who is a junior developer, will he write all this function and then a bracket and then a bracket again? It is so difficult, right? So that's why TypeScript increases productivity. This is one of the main things what I liked about TypeScript. It increases my productivity, means by the speed by which I will develop. That's what TypeScript increases, right? That's why people love it. And remember, our TypeScript is created by Microsoft, and it is created by the same person who created C#. So the person who created C#, Mr. Anders, so Anders Hellsberg, and he is one of those guys you would like to follow as a technical person. If you think you want to be tomorrow be a technical person, then he is the one of those guys. So you can see his age is almost 60 and more than 60, I will say. In his life, he has created Turbo Pascal, old one Pascal in 80s. If I remember, in 80s and 85, this Turbo Pascal was like going crazy. Then we had Delphi. He's the person who created Delphi. He created C# of Microsoft, and today, at the age of 60, he has created TypeScript. So something, as a developer, I see him as a hero. Like that, where he has created so many products, and all of the products are wonderful, right? So TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript. It is for productivity. Okay. So any questions here? Yes, good input out there. But don't say super class, or you can say superset. Super class is different. Super class is more something which is different, right? Now another thing about TypeScript is, now think about it. This is class customer. Let us say I can go and I can create a file here called as address. So look at this. This is class address. Here I have address one, and let us say string. And this address has a phone number. I'm sorry for the cough. Phone number, phone string. Now I want to say that one customer, I'll delete this. Remember, this has been generated by TypeScript compiler. We'll delete this. Now let us say I want to say that one customer has many address. Normally we'll have a one-to-many relationship, right? So what we can do now, that means that the customer class wants to use the address class. I repeat this. One customer has multiple address. So that means that this is a one-to-many relationship. So your customer wants to use the address. So first thing, what your address class should do is he should say export. Export means I'm making myself available to any other TypeScript class out there. And then the customer class can say, okay, like, so I want to go and use the address class, import. Import from which file? My file name is ./address. And in that, what is the class? Address. So this is the file name and this is the class name. Now, please understand that in one address.ts file, you can have many types of address. For example, you can say, okay, there is an address and there is an home address, assume, right? There can be an office address, right? So in one file, you can have many type of different type of address. So you can see here, import address, comma, you can say, okay, import home address, right? So if you want to use one class of a TypeScript into another class, first that class should export himself and the other class should import himself. Now I can go and say, okay, one customer, one-to-many relationship. I'll say a list of, so customer will have addresses. Remember, first the variable name, and then I will say array of lot of address. So look at this. This is a one-to-many relationship, right? So you can see now with TypeScript, it is so easy. If I have to do all this modeling and all such kind of coding in JavaScript, it was really a headache and a nightmare. But now it is so easy out here. Like, okay, customer has multiple address has different kind of things, right? So import and export. So remember, in TypeScript, there are a couple of things. The first one is it's a superset of JavaScript. The second one is you can use import and export and you can connect two classes, right? So guys, any questions here on the base? This is basics of TypeScript. Huh? We'll be doing a lot of TypeScript later on, but this is the basics of TypeScript. Any questions here? And how to compile, I've already said TSC. For example, I can go and say here now TSC and compile customer.ts. It will go and it will compile my files out here. So you can see here. You can see he has for address TS, he has compiled an address.js. For customer TS, he has compiled customer.js and so on, right? Also, very quickly, I want to also talk about that in TypeScript. If you see here, if I have 10, 15 files, it's a headache, right? To say like TSC customer.ts, TSC address.ts, right? What I can do is I can create a configuration file. If you remember in Node.js, we had this configuration file like package.json. So here I can say TSC init, and I can just create a configuration file, TSC hyphen init. I'm sorry, TSC hyphen init. Please note, this is the syntax, TSC hyphen init. So you can see it has created a tsconfig.json file. And now I don't have to go and say TSC customer, TSC supplier. I can just say TSC. And what it will do is it will take all the files and it will compile them in one go. So in this folder, whatever are the files, it will go and it will compile them. So if you look at this configuration file, I'll just delete this address.js. This configuration file has a lot of things, in what version of JavaScript you want to compile, ES5, ES4, right? And so on. So for example, I want to go and take all my JS file and put them into a folder. So I can go and I can create a folder. So let us see, you can see a lot of things are commented here, but we can go and we can say, where is the folder? You can always read the comments. You can see at the right side, all the comments out here. So one of the comments will say that, yeah, uh, specify where you want your output directory. Yeah. Okay, so I'll say that all my files, you will put it into, finally, when it is compiled, into a dist folder. So what this will do is this will go and take all the JS file and put it into a distribution folder, right? So I can go here and say DSC. And if I say TSC, you can see all my JS files are now out here, right? And then I can definitely use this JS file into my HTML and so on. That is a different stuff. But I can go and put a lot of these configuration. You don't have to take headache. Don't think that you have to know everything, all the configuration out here. But some ones, like example, the version, how to change it, where to put the output directory, and so on, right? So at least start with the simple ones. Okay, so I can see, from Prem sir here, is it bidirectional as a relation? No, Prem, it is not bidirectional. So what I understand your question is that from the TypeScript file, so from TS, I can compile to, I will not even use the word compile. Compile is a word which is very honorary, or compile is a word, which is very, where you compile into binary and machine language. I will say this is transpile, or I can say convert. I don't know what word you want to use, or I can say transpile. So it actually transpiles to JS, but you don't have reverse engineering saying that, okay, from JS compile to TS. We don't want that, right? So that is not there. So there is no two-way kind of thing. What is the overhead of transpiling TS into JS? No overhead, Roshan. Very good question. So there is no overhead as such. See, where does the transpiling take place? Where does the conversion takes place? In the developer's machine. So whatever happens, it happens in the developer's machine. It is not during the production. So when you run the application, you are using compiled JavaScript. So there is no overhead in terms of performance as such, right? I hope that answered the question. So this is a question from Roshan here, and let's. So this question, I like the question in terms of. So what is the overhead transpiling? Nothing, as such. See, yeah, for bigger applications, when you compile, right, it takes a time, but that time is for the developer. Developer can wait. For the end users, they don't have to worry. Everything is converted. So when they run inside the browser, they are going to go and run this. TypeScript is only for developers. TypeScript is not for end users. TypeScript is only for developers. What runs finally? Finally, what runs is JavaScript. I think this is very important statement I've made. In production, JavaScript runs. In development, TypeScript is there, right? Did that answer the question? Let me know. Yes. Right. Okay, I can see there is one more question here saying that can we do inheritance? Can we do polymorphism? Absolutely. I will not go into that now, but you can say here the home inherits from address, extends. You can say all that. You can create an interface. You can create an abstract class. Guys will go into that later on, so you don't have to do it now. But yes, you can definitely go and do those things, right? Okay, so let us see what we are done for today. I don't want to take too many things. Remember, I said it's a very, very long journey. I don't want you guys to get bored. I don't want you guys to get fed up, right, with the training. I want you to continue for some time. After 10, 11 lessons, I will be making the speed much more higher. Now, remember, I just want to point out here, we have other finishing schools which are happening here. So I would like to just point out that, okay, this is one of the finishing schools, what is out here, right? if you see the participation, this is from India actually. And because I, Raju, Quest IT, iMark, right? What our belief is not money. Let me tell you, like, frankly, I want to tell this on YouTube itself. This complete initiative we have taken, from the rural perspective. Because what we believe is that a person who is in Dhangadi, or a person who is in Kolhapur, or a person who is somewhere in the lower end of the villages out there, they don't have access to higher end computer education. So I teach for Microsoft, I teach for Google, right? And I feel that, like, okay, so what about the students out there, who want to enter the IT industry? It is so tough for them. So if you look at this, this is one of the initiative. This is one of the girl called Shruti, who is from an Indian college. You can see that she has written, like, almost she is on day 13, and she has written 13 articles right till now, right? It, and in this way, many of the students out there, I can look into Mrunali. This is one more student out there. She must have written much more. I don't know. This is day 8, and then there is another student out. I want, what I want to say is that the way we are teaching in other colleges, in the way we are getting feedbacks from them, I expect that we get feedback from here. So you can see here almost like 20-25 students out there. They are writing it, and this is not the first batch we are doing with them. Huh? We have done, I think, with them now. This must be the 5th or the 6th year we are doing it. So it is not that I and Raju are very new into this, or iMark is very new into this. No, like, we are doing this in US, we are doing this in India, we are doing this in lots of location. We are not a new player. We know how the finishing school works, right? Only thing is, that we are just worried that in Nepal, do we get such kind of students at the end of the day, right? So my only yeah, the 5th year, yes, the 5th year for them. And I want to tell you, all of you guys, that in the Kolhapur is a very small village actually. So I and Raju, we shuffle between Mumbai and Dhangadi and Kathmandu. So our house is in Dhangadi. Our mom and dad is from Nepal. We have our office in Mumbai. We also have our partnership which we do with iMark, and we are really excited about all these things, right? Now, we could have opened up a college in Mumbai. In Mumbai, we don't have any problem. So many people, students here to pay money. So many big colleges like IIT, and we can easily get access to them. But we said no, like, we will go to a remote Indian village where people really, there is no light, there is no electricity. Students are struggling, right? And same we are doing it for Nepal, right? So like, for example, when I find here only 12 and 13 students after the 70, this is so saddening. So I would say, guys, you don't, as we said previously also, you don't have to pay any money, right? We are a Microsoft partner. We are very much like into training. We do higher end trainings. We don't want any kind of financial benefit from you, but we want to see that, yes, you get into the IT industry, you do this higher end things like TypeScript, Angular, MVC core, right? But at the end of the day, the students have to do themselves, right? They have to write articles. They have to showcase that, yes, see, you taught us Node, we did Node, and then we read the articles. We say, okay, this is Krishna, he's writing it. This is Roshan who's writing it. And yes, even in India also, let me be very frank, like here also, at the end of the day, what happens is we get 10-15 people. But now what is happening in Nepal is that we, at the end of the day, we now on the third, fourth class, we had 10-15 people. So I would suggest, like, guys, please talk with your friends. Don't leave this opportunity. It is not that I and Raju are doing it, so you have to join here, but it is for your good, right? So expect more participation out there. So guys, just quickly, I will revise what we have done. I will not talk too much. The concern of this 15 students has raised my eyebrows. I don't know about YouTube, how many people are there. So yeah, first today what we did, we talked about TypeScript. Let us do this much. So let's not do too many things. TypeScript, it's a strongly typed language. It is a superset of JavaScript, right? First thing. Second thing, in TypeScript, we have object-oriented programming. Third, to install TypeScript, we said npm install npm install TypeScript, right? TypeScript also has a configuration file, so tsc-config, right? So this will actually tsc-init, I'm sorry. This will go and create the configuration file. The third thing is you can use the import and export, so you have a class, you export it, you have a class, you import it, right? So that's what is for today for TypeScript. Even if you can compile 1 or 2 programs, run them, I think that should still be very much sufficient, right? So thank you. I'm going to go and paste it out here, right? Right. So yeah, thank you very much. Students on YouTube, what is it? Okay, I think this is a very good question from Krishna here. What is the difference between installing globally and what is the difference between installing locally? I'll take this question. Uh, Definitely an important question. If you see, I'm really so glad that you guys are catching up that every notes out there, right? I really like that. So if you look at TypeScript, when I went to TypeScript, I did not talk about that npm install TypeScript. I just skipped it, but it's good that Krishna you have caught it. Install -g. This installs globally, right? Globally means what, like for example, in a computer, okay, assume, let us say you have 4 or 5 projects in a computer, right? So I'm going to go and draw a small diagram out here and make you explain. So let's say you have your computer out here, and inside the computer you have 4 or 5 projects, right? So, okay. So let's say you have a computer, let's say your C drive or your D drive. Inside this, you have project one. Now this project one is using assume TypeScript 2.0, assume. There is another project out here, right, who is using TypeScript 3.0, assume. That means that you need to have 2 different versions of TypeScript in your computer. So what you will do, you will not install -g, because -g will install globally in the computer and everybody will have the same version. You will not install without -g, you will install locally. So in this folder, you will use the TypeScript of this. In this folder, you will have TypeScript 3.0. But if you say no, like in my computer, I just work on only one project because that is what the normal thing is. For example, I am a code reviewer. So in my company, I look after 4 or 5 projects, right? So in my computer, I cannot have global version. But if you say no, like in my computer, I just have one project I'm working on, you can go and you can install a global version of TypeScript by using -g, right? So what will happen is for all the projects out here, the same TypeScript version will be used, right? So that is called as -g. It installs globally the same version, right? Yeah, and yeah, did that answer your question, Krishna? It in the C users folder, whatever is your users folder, it installs globally, right? Or else, if you say no, like I need to have a local installation, then you have to say TypeScript without -g. Okay, so guys, here it is. Now we are coming to the end of the class, but very, very quickly, as Raju has suggested, can we have a very quick discussion on the exams now? So exams are coming in. So guys, what should we do? Should we do the next class after a month? I'm just worried after the month, no one will come, and then this whole initiative will die off. So how should we go about it, guys? Like, should we take a 1 month of break after a month? So from Yama, it is after the month. What about other people? I want to get a feedback from everyone out here. What about other people? Yes. Remember, guys, I know that your exams are important, right? But at the same time, I think we should not like lose this out. This team is going on, right? We are already doing the third lecture or the fourth lecture, right? Somewhere, please try to give some attention to this, some attention, right? Exam is just after the month. So how much, Krishna? Uh, so so can we should we stop now and start from February 1st? How it is, like, let me know. Or should we take like 26 20? We can take one more lecture. I think we should take one more lecture, right? One more lecture we can take. So after 28th Feb. Oh, 20th Feb is too far, right? Isn't it? So we can continue. What about the other colleges? I think NAST has the exams from January, is it? Okay, we have exams till that date. One more lecture would be okay. So, okay, guys, so let us do like this. We'll take one more lecture, right, in the next week, and then we'll continue. Yes, okay. Then we'll discuss this part on the next lecture. Raju, can you start discussing also offline, with the students? And must be, guys, we can have a not one-to-one call, but a kind of a meeting with everyone, Raju, in between somewhere. Must be tomorrow, not a technical call, but just to talk with students that currently we have some people who are coming, right? So we can just have a call with me. I can call up, some of the MVPs from Nepal, the most valued professional like Alok Pandey. I can call our CEO who is there of iMark, who can talk about how much Angular we are doing. We have ASP.NET MVP Alok Pandey sir, who is again working in a big multinational. We have Chetri sir, who is again ASP.NET, right? MVP of Nepal. We can bring him on the board and we can just have a small discussion saying that what is the future of Angular, what is the future of MVC core and so on, right? So can you take tomorrow one time, discuss it out, and I can try to bring all of these people in. I will contact to Alok sir. I will contact to Chetri sir, and we can just try to just so that they can also know, okay, that he's from Nepal, he's working with DRWorks, he's at a good position, and he has done ASP.NET core. This guy is here, he is doing something like this. So this will give an idea to the people out there that how, and these guys are leaders of ASP.NET, Angular. They do NG Nepal, right? The Angular Nepal community they lead. So you would get a better idea for them. So Raju, please decide a time now. Accordingly, I can ping them to today, and we can bring Alok sir. We can bring someone from iMark as well, from the technical seat.